Hi, this is Garrett Clayton, and you're watching Young Entertainment Mag.
Hi, I'm Daniela with Young Entertainment Mag. We are so excited to have you. We are just the biggest fans, so thank you so much for joining us. Gonna jump right in. We're so excited to have you. So we're gonna start with It, a musical parody. So what was your role in it, and what are you most looking forward to about the production?
Sure. So this is a remounting of a production we did in 2019, and I'm going to be Pennywise the Clown again.
Ooh, that's exciting. How
Mhm.
fun is that?
Oh, yeah. I mean, we had a blast the first time, so I'm just really excited that, legitimately, when we did the show last time, it was such a party and everyone had such a good time that this is going to be, I don't know, just I feel lucky that I get to be with everybody again, and that we get to just celebrate the joy of live entertainment in a new venue in New York, and we get to bring the show to off Broadway. It's exciting.
Yeah, that's incredible. And I'm sure you just have like the most amazing camaraderie and connection with the cast members. So it's probably really exciting to be together again.
Oh, very. I mean, we all did musicals together for a few years, so this is definitely an exciting thing that we all get to come back together.
Very cool. What was your introduction to acting? What was your first experience in the acting world?
I did when grew up in Detroit. I did a little bit of community theater, and then did my first movie when I was, I believe, 15.
Cool. Awesome.
Yeah.
So if you're from, a smaller town, not super close to LA, New York, kind of the towns that people think of when they associate, oh, acting. So for all the young aspiring individuals out there who are maybe not from New York or LA. I'm sure it's so inspiring to hear that, you got your first role at 15. How did that come about, not living close to New York or LA?
Yeah, well, I'd been auditioning for a few years and working in commercial modeling, getting on Greyhound buses and doing my homework there, and going to auditions in Chicago, doing auditions in Detroit, and booked my first movie. Just I was at my agency and they were auditioning people for different roles in this, and they were like, "Hey, you might be right for one of the parts. Do you want to read?" And I read for one role and got a different one, which happens a lot in the movie industry. But for anyone who's aspiring and maybe doesn't come from New York or LA, I just always like to say to seek opportunity safely. If there's
Mhm.
casting calls or any meetings you can take, just make sure you bring someone with you that you trust and that has your back, whether it's a parent, a really good friend, a colleague that you might have worked with in the past that you really trust. But
Mhm.
always seek out those opportunities, because they're always doing casting calls and talent searches all over the country for different networks and TV stations. And I booked one for Days of Our Lives out of 1,500 people, and waited all day and was with a friend of mine, and it ended up working out. But yeah, I just always tell people to seek opportunity safely.
Yeah, absolutely. And you're a super hard worker. I mean, I think it's great for young people too to see like the inside of that. It's not like you just showed up and something happened. You seek after the
Mhm.
opportunities and you show up and you wait all day. So that is so cool. Speaking of all of your success, you've been an incredible Disney Channel success story. So, what was that like, and what was it like kind of transitioning out of that atmosphere and moving on to different things?
It was really exciting, and I'm always going to be grateful that I really got my break with such, I don't know, such wonderful people and in such a high caliber, and being seen. Not many stations, movies, TV shows, like it just there's so much entertainment to consume, and I feel lucky that I've gotten to be a part of a couple things that have been seen, and people remember to this. A few years later, they're still telling me they appreciate it. So, I mean, really, it's just it's for me remaining grateful and remembering who I am and where I came from. And it was, there's always good with the bad. There was obviously going to be struggles with being in, I don't know, in more of a public eye than I think I was raised in. And so I think that was a bit of an adjustment. But just remembering to keep good people around you who have your best interest and you have their best interest. And it really is just about surrounding yourself with love and making sure that, you know, your dream is protected with kind people.
Yeah, that's great. That's incredible advice. So we think that King Cobra is probably one of our favorite things that we've ever seen you do. There was just so much raw talent and vulnerability there. And it seemed like you really had to like let your guard down while filming, get into a really vulnerable space. So what do you do as an actor to get into that specific headspace?
You know, a lot of acting is about doing your homework. I, I maybe for some people it's about maybe more off the cuff things, but I try and approach when I'm prepping any movie, just like King Cobra. I did a lot of homework. I approached it from a couple styles of technique with different coaches that I trust, and you know, I learned that script backwards and forwards, and really tried to flesh out, you know, what is the arc of my character, what is the narrative I'm trying to tell, how do I, you know, I know there was a bit of nudity in it, and I didn't want it to be gratuitous, so I really focused on how do these aspects come into the movie and help tell the story, as opposed to just
Mhm.
being there either gratuitous or salaciously. Like,
Yeah.
you know, people in American society view the naked human body or anything sexual as like deviant behavior, and I really just feel comfortable in my sexuality. I feel comfortable in my body, and it was important for me to convey that on screen, because I
Mhm.
think you know, my one of my hopes is that if anyone sees that, that's what they get from it, is that it was told out of respect. And
Mhm.
you know, I always try and just in my real life try and have a narrative of being comfortable with myself, my sexuality, my body, and I hope that that conveys to anybody who cares about what I'm doing, because I hope that that can translate into anybody who values, you know, what I'm here doing.
Yeah, absolutely. That is such a cool perspective and kind of backstory behind that. And it's so cool to see. It's so fun to hear that you applied so many different techniques. It is different talking to different actors. And you're right, some are like kind of going off the cusp, and it's really cool to hear. I'm sure you've had like extensive training, and that's really inspiring. What was it like going from TV to theater?
Well, I started in theater when I was before I ever got into like movies or TV, and it's always kind of been my roots. I was in a BFA for music theater, and I left after a year because I started getting more work and I had opportunities here in Los Angeles. So I've always kind of stuck to it, and I've been doing theater in the city for years. I've been doing regional things around the country for the past few years. I, you know, sang at the Smithsonian, did a set for the Tony Awards after party. It was like, I've really done a bunch of cabarets. I've really just tried to keep the live aspect in my body, because
Mhm.
I really value the live aspect. And, you know, no shade to anybody who doesn't do it, but for me personally, I really value, like, if I can sit in an audience and I see someone doing something right in front of my eyes, no tricked editing, no dubbing, no VO or you know, auto tune. Like, if you can just get on stage and do it really well, whether it's acting, singing, dancing, like, I just respect it so much. I respect everyone in their forms of art, but just for me, I really value anyone who has the guts to get on stage and just do it right in front of you, whether you like it or you don't like it. I think it's a
Yeah.
brave, it's a bold thing. It's a very, you know, you have to find a lot of confidence. And if you're not confident, you have to fake it till you make it. There's just a lot that comes into live performance that I really, really value. And that brings, and it really comes through in my other work and makes me feel confident.
Yeah, absolutely. Like there's no take two. You can't just do it again. You're right. You're live. You're in front of everyone. That's really cool. And I like what you said about fake it till you make it, because I'm sure that there's a lot of, you know, young actors out there, whether it's theater, musical theater, television, commercials, movies. It's like, you know, how do you get that confidence? So it sounds like for you, you just maybe, even if you are nervous, you just go for it. Is that kind of your secret to mustering up confidence in the moments you need it?
Yeah, I mean, sometimes it's I'm adrenaline junkie just for, I'm scared and I'm scared to take the first step and get out on stage, and I'm like, oh, fuck it. So then I just kind of push myself into it, and you know, 9 times out of 10, I'm grateful. And that other 1/10 is, if I mess something up and I beat myself up over it for 20 minutes, I'm like, it's okay. I'm come back tomorrow and I'll come back swinging and I'll try it I'll try it again, and when I get it right, I'll get it right. That's the beauty of live performance. Is it's not supposed to be perfect. It's the imperfections that make it exciting.
I love that. So obviously another favorite of ours out of things you've done is Hairspray Live. And when Jennifer Hudson sings, I Know Where I've Been, it looked like the entire cast just started to break down. What was it like filming that scene specifically? And were the tears real?
Yeah, I mean, there was a lot of weight. That song means a lot to the show and to the community who appreciates Hairspray, but there was also the weight of the election that happened right when we were doing all in rehearsals, and we were talking about the weight of what that show meant and how we were really trying to fight for unity and kindness and empathy towards people, whether you are in their circumstance or outside of it. It's really a lot of really heavy thoughts come to your mind when Jennifer Hudson is singing such a powerful song about such a wonderful community. And it's like you love, I loved everyone in that room, and thinking about everyone's different stories and how that song relates to all of us. And even just in my own life, there was just so many thoughts running through my head at that time, that it really getting to be there, while she's singing that and knowing the message and knowing thematically what it means in the show, in our separate lives, in the country. It's like there was just so many layers to it that we'd all previously discussed, that when it came time for showtime and your brain is in it, it just hits you like a ton of bricks.
Yeah, that's really, really cool. It sounds like a really special moment that stood for even way more than what we saw. So thanks for sharing that. That's really cool. So you have become a huge success on TikTok. Congratulations. That's really incredible. Yeah, of course. I'm on TikTok as well, and I work really hard at it every day, and I love it so much. And people are always asking me, how do you do TikTok? And really, it's just another medium of entertainment. So yeah, which is really cool. And it's interesting to see. I have a background too in musical theater, and I lived in LA for a little while doing commercials and TV. And it's so different how TikTok translates. It's very different how you have to approach TikTok content. And that's one of the craziest things to communicate to people. Like when they're asking, how do I do TikTok? It's just so different, but it is so fun. So what has been, do you think, like the number one contributing factor to you becoming such a success on TikTok? And obviously you're doing something specific that's really resonating with people. What do you think that is?
I don't know. I mean, I got really stuck in a while for a few years when I dealt with some other negative things about people telling me who I should be or where I should go or what I should do. And I really feel like, because I had a couple, people in my life who, when I started getting into the social media side of things and really putting my creativity into it during the pandemic, and I had a couple people be like, you're not, just like when before I came out, oh, you'll never work again. They don't take people serious who do these things. And I'm like, well, that's not necessarily true. And I think that just like any other form of entertainment, this is just a different medium.
Yeah.
And if the difference with traditional, here's the thing, it's all in my opinion. Like, I don't judge if anyone else has a different one. It's okay.
Yeah.
But in my opinion, traditional media, you're always waiting for other people's yes. In social media, you're only giving it to yourself, and it's very empowering. And truly, like, once I gave myself permission to have that level of freedom in my creativity, if I want to do makeup, if I want to do fashion, if I want to dance, if I want to sing, if I want to do a scene, if I want to do comedy with a friend, if I want to talk about something that's important to me or to people I love, like, there's so much, it's so empowering to wake up in the morning. And if the traditional space hasn't given me my yes for that day, I get to give it to myself. And that to me is so different. And because I've been doing this since I was 13. Yeah. So having this medium now and getting to just pour my creativity into this, and I've seen so many things blossom because of it, because I'm not remaining in a judgmental space. I'm not living in that negative space that other people warn me about. It's really just about owning my creativity and the freedom that I have in it. And if other people have a problem with that, then that's on them. I don't really mind myself with that.
Totally. That just made me light up. It just made me so happy because I feel the same way. Just a short background of mine growing up like in the entertainment industry, that you face so much rejection. And that is exactly what I love about social media, specifically TikTok, is it's up to you. It's kind of in your control. You get to wake up that day and choose what you want to create, and you get to build a community around it. And so I love that you're saying that. I think it's really empowering too for a lot of these young people who want to pursue a career in the entertainment industry. You know, I get asked all the time, how do you do this? How do you do that? And it's like, well, you can do it yourself on social media. You don't have to wait for somebody else's yes. You can like kind of fulfill those creative dreams yourself, which is so cool. And I can't sometimes think about like, what if TikTok was a thing when, you know, when I was 10 or 13, like how that would have changed my life. So I love that that's such an outlet for you, and it's so evident in your TikToks. I was just watching them, you know, before hopping on here, and it's so cool to see you shine. And we love your costumes. Do those take like forever to make? Do you make them yourselves? How long, like, what is that process like? Because it's so cool.
Oh, thanks. I don't know. I mean, it's all different. Some of them take a while because I'm trying to figure out what to pair stuff with, but other times I just like, I have a costume closet and I like doing fun costumes. I mean that, you know, I'm a theater kid. So for me, it's just like, great. If you know, the Queen of Hearts is trending, I'm like, then I'll make a Queen of Hearts video because it's just fun. It's just silly to me to like, I don't want to miss out on the fun. So I just kind of jump in, and I'm like, whether it turns out great, sometimes they turn out a little bit, I look back and I'm like, oh God, that could have been done so much better. But I think that's the fun part, is like, then I'll go back to it in a couple years and I'll see how my skills have developed. And if it looks better, amazing. If not, you know, it's okay. I'll just keep trying.
Yeah, for sure. And isn't that funny on TikTok how you can like literally post something that's so silly and random and you're like, oh, this is might be kind of stupid. And then it goes viral because people just like resonate with the most like simple organic stuff. It's so fun.
Yeah.
I love it. So what has been your favorite TikTok you've ever made and why?
Oh my gosh. That's such a large question because I feel like I made so many now.
Yeah. Or maybe like, have you ever gotten a crazy response from one that was like super meaningful and you're like, wow, something that really brought people together?
I think the one, you know, I posted one about, I think it was when I posted about getting married.
Yeah.
Because I think there was a lot of negativity that came with me saying, you know, me being ready to come out and being really, you know, scared that I would never, you know, I just had to accept the reality that some people come out and they don't get to work anymore. And that's just an unfortunate truth. And to really, you know, come out the other end of it at this point. And, you know, I shared that video of my marriage and it was so kind and thoughtful. I mean, there was obviously like a couple crazy people who were like, if you're in my country, we cut off your balls. But I'm like, well, I'm not in your country, so it doesn't matter. Yeah. So, but there was such an overwhelmingly positive response. Like 99% of it was so positive, and I was just so grateful for that. And coming out the other end being so, like, I've never had this much work and been surrounded by so many wonderful people. And I'm really just, I don't know, I think, yeah, if I can think about one that I'm really happy or proud of, it's when I got to post about my marriage, because it felt like, oh, this is like a stamp at the other end of the tunnel, you know?
Wow. Yeah. Well, you deserve it. I'm really happy for you. And that's really cool. And I'm sure there's quite literally millions of people watching you, getting inspiration and confidence and self-reassurance from that. So that is really cool. Anything unexpected ever happened like while you're creating a TikTok that just kind of happened in the moment, was organic, and you're like, okay, wait, I'm actually going to post that take instead of the one, you know, that I got perfect?
Every single time.
Yeah.
It's always like, it was like what we said before. It's like somehow when something goes wrong and then you're like, even better now. I wasn't even going to do that.
Totally.
It just feels like it's always 90% of the time that's where I end up. I'm putting together a wig right now.
Oh my gosh, I love it. Okay, can I ask what that one's for?
I think it was my old Winifred wig, and now I'm trying to repurpose it into something.
I love it. Okay, I'm excited.
Yeah.
And be on your TikTok, like waiting, watching for it. That's awesome. We have just a few more questions. Thank you so much for your time. So just a couple more TikTok questions.
Sure.
Who has been your favorite person to collaborate with on TikTok so far, and what was that experience like?
I have to shout out to my girl Montana Tucker. We met each other doing the Elton John music video for the AIDS Foundation before the pandemic. And then through it, while TikTok has turned into what it is, we've collaborated more and more, and now we kind of do all this duo stuff together. And she's just like, I don't know, she's like a partner in crime or a sister, or just like, I just love her so much. We have so much fun together, and I feel like we get to really go balls to the wall with our creativity and different dancing and fashion and comedy. And it's just like we have a lot of similar values and a lot of the same humor, and we have similar interest in the creativity we want to approach. And we're always pushing ourselves and each other to really like hone in on harder and harder things, or different, like we're always pushing ourselves to do different stuff. So I have to shout out to her, because I feel like I'm just so grateful and so proud of all the work we've been doing and all the things we've gotten to do together and all the stuff we have coming up in the future.
That's so cool. It's so true that, like, you know how you click with some people in friendships or even relationships and whatnot. It's like there's people that you click with in the creativity space, and it's just so fun when you find those people, and it makes you better, like you're saying. That's really cool. So what is if you could pick one thing at the end of the day that you hope people take away from your TikToks, what would it be?
Joy. I just want to have fun and spread joy and have fun with other people. And if you take away joy from my page in any form, I'm happy about it. I mean, every once in a while I'll respond to something negative and be a smartass, but
you kind of have to stand up for yourself.
Yeah, every once in a while. But for the most part, I don't even give it attention. Like I was just reading to my friends, what's this message I got on Instagram I read to my husband and my friend yesterday? I deleted it because I was like, I don't care. But it was something like your fashion is so gross, and everyone thinks you're the most cliche gay, and your face is so hit now. And I was like, and I typically don't respond to a lot of things, but I don't know why. Some things just catch your attention.
Totally.
And I clicked on his page and I was like, who is this person? What are they just a troll page, or is this just somebody who's unhappy?
Yeah.
And so I looked into it, because every once in a while I get intrigued. And so I looked into it and I was like, well, there's some negative stuff, but you're posting about like your niece and your mom and how about your family and stuff, and trying to be positive in those ways. So it must be something that you're going through. So I ended up just responding saying, I'm so sorry you feel the need to send hateful messages to complete strangers on the internet. I wish you all the best in life. Yeah. Because my hope in things in taking what somebody says like that, because truly a lot of times it doesn't feel like a real reflection of me. It feels like they're projecting something because they're unhappy. And I think it's a more powerful thing, instead of reacting negatively to somebody who tries to attack you like that, and just to come back at it and be like, I truly do wish you all the best, and I don't like, you're not making me hurt. It makes me hurt for you. It makes me feel sad for you.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's important, and hopefully people on the receiving end of that have their eyes open. And that's one thing I have learned about TikTok that I thought has been interesting. It's different from like YouTube or Instagram, is that when I do get hate comments, I try to relate with them, and like 9 out of 10 times they end up following me. It's almost like people at first, they're hurting, they're going through something, and they just want to say something. They just want to get attention. And then it's like they see on the other end of that, you're not reacting. You're like, hey, it's cool, no big deal. And then they almost want to connect with you over that. I feel like at the end of the day, people are just looking for a community and to be accepted and to be loved. And so I think it's really cool that you responded that way. And it's a cool reflection of who you are. So lastly, we would just want to know what's next for you. We're so excited to see your career blossom and can't wait to watch you do all the amazing things. So what's next?
Thank you. Well, we're wrapping up season 2 of our show, A Gay in the Life, on Spotify Live.
Cool.
I have the show on Off Broadway. There's we have the Letterman short, which is circulating at a lot of festivals right now, which is about the largest archive of love letters found from World War II by any queer couple.
Wow.
And it's a really cool World War II story about these two lovers and all these letters. It's just really beautiful. And there's a movie I did a cute little cameo in, and I'm talking about going to shoot another one in December, and working on an album in Nashville, and
Cool.
popping back and forth with that. And I mean, yeah, there's just like a bunch of stuff going on. So I'm just having a great time.
That's amazing. I'm so excited for you. We'll keep an eye out for all that. P.S. I live in Nashville. I'm not there right now, but I do music. So I wish you all the best. It's like such a fun town to create music in. So I'll be on the lookout for everything that you make. Do you write your own stuff too?
I'm writing with a lot of different, I'm collaborating with a lot of songwriters.
Cool.
And so I'm in the process of all of the tracks that I'm going to be recording. I've been just hand in hand with all of the collaborators on it.
Cool.
We really haven't, I don't think one that we have right now has been anything someone's just given us that I'm just going to sing on top of.
Yeah.
Which is really exciting. It's all original. It's all made with the songwriters they're pairing me with are unbelievable. They've been writing with like J-Lo and Celine Dion and NSYNC and Pink and like all of these just like amazing, just, oh my God. So I'm really excited.
That's so cool. That's kind of like the magic of Nashville. It's so wild that you get to write with these people, meet these people that have written for these like mega stars. There's really no other place like it. So I'm so excited for you. It's so fun.
Thank you. And I think it's really nice. Everyone's really open to it because, it's a country music town. I'm not really making country music there. So I think I really like the flavor it's adding to what I'm making, because I think I don't know. I'm just really excited about where it's going, and the response we're getting from the tracks right now is really exciting. It's going to be cool to see how this turns out.
Amazing. Cool. We can't wait. Well, thanks again for joining. We're going to post this on our site, of course, but also TikTok, Instagram, YouTube Shorts. We'll make sure to tag you in all of it. But thank you again for your time. It was so great chatting, and we'll hopefully see you again.
I hope so. Come stop by it. Come say hi.
That would be amazing. I will take you up on that. Thank you so much.
Oh my gosh, of course. It was nice to meet you.